Good day, gamers. What's going on? It is eXtremeAzure here again, and today I bring you yet another X Talk video presentation. And today's topic is, of course, going to be about The Legend of Zelda, the upcoming game, which is slated for release on the Wii U eventually. Yes, this title has been very mysterious because ever since its announcement, well, actually, I should start from the very beginning of the Wii U's public life. It was revealed at E3 2011, and one of the first games that we saw on it was the Legend of Zelda tech demo. Of course, it wasn't named at that time, and it wasn't supposed to really represent what Zelda Wii U would be, but like I said, it's just a tech demo. But it at least gave us our first glimpse of how Zelda would look in HD, so ever since then, people have been excited for this brand new Legend of Zelda. So of course, it's going to be the first time you see the series in HD. It's going to use the Wii U to its full potential, so ever since, basically, from that time, people have been excited about it, and people got even more excited when we finally got our first real details and our first real look at the game last year at E3 2014, and then again at the VGX, the Video Game Awards. So yeah, it's been quite some time since we actually got some real cold hard information on the game, basically almost a year ago, and ever since then, we earlier this year, it was announced that the game would be delayed up until 2016, and that it wouldn't be shown off at this year's E3, and of course it wasn't, even though it really should have. And so yeah, a lot of controversy has been associated with this game. And when I say controversy, I mean both good and bad. People are excited about it, people are still excited about it, but right now, the main thing is, everyone's wondering, is this game going to be released on the Wii U at all? And that's basically the main basis for this video, and it's something I really don't understand as to why people would get the thought, and it's such a popular thought. That's what's getting me. I mean, I've seen it on so many sites, N4G, IGN, Wii U Daily, so much discussion boards. People are thinking that there's little to no chance that this is going to be Zelda Wii U. It's actually going to be Zelda NX. And like I say, I find that so mind-boggling. I find that so confusing. People would make such a drastic theory. I mean, like, honestly. And my reasoning for this is simple. When the NX was announced, and I just talked about it in my previous video, the NX was announced because Nintendo wanted to show the gaming world that even though they were moving into the mobile space, they weren't giving up on traditional consoles. So that was the reason why the existence of the NX was announced. Other than that, we know absolutely, well, basically nothing confirmed about the NX. All we know is that we only know the code name. That's basically the only cold hard information that we have, and the vague comments that Nintendo has gave, like it's going to be an interesting system. It's going to change the life of gamers once again. So yeah, we'll see however that goes, but that's not what this is about. What this is about, of course, Zelda. So looking at the Zelda situation, everyone's wondering, like, okay, is this game going to be shifted over to the NX? Well, I shouldn't say wondering. People are really believing this, like, and if I've seen so many people try and refute them, they're like, no, you're stupid. It's coming out on NX. No, it's coming out on Wii U anymore. And then another theory, it's another popular theory, is that even if it does come out on Wii U, it's going to be like Twilight Princess, which was released on both the GameCube and the Wii back in 2006. So we have two theories, and both of these theories point to the fact that it's not going to be mainly released on the Wii U. So yeah, I find that interesting. And here's this. Let's start off with the Twilight Princess-like theory. So, like I said, people are saying that it could end up where it's a dual release. Why do you think so? I pose that question because just look at the situation of Twilight Princess. Of course, you guys can remember that, Twilight Princess was a special game for that reason, and the reason why it was brought over to the Wii in the first place was a lot of variety of different reasons. Well, the main one was because Shigeru Miyamoto, at that time, they were actually developing Phantom Hourglass on the DS, and how the stylus was such a big part of that game. You know, he thought that, wow, this is so innovative. But Twilight Princess doesn't have anything like that. So they wanted to use the innovation of the Wii remote to go ahead and give Twilight Princess that special oomph. That's basically why. That's a good reason why Twilight Princess was brought over to the Wii, to make use of the Wii remote and the pointer controls. And also because, of course, you know, they wanted to have a really big launch title for the system, which definitely makes sense. Now then, a lot of people are saying that in order for the NX to have a successful launch, then it should also have a heavy hitter, which is the main theory as to why they think that the new Zelda should be ported to NX so it could be a launch title. But yes, I understand that, but it doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense because, if you remember, with the GameCube, even though Twilight Princess was originally just a GameCube only title, what came after? Well, not after. What came before that? Wind Waker. Alright? So, the GameCube already had its own original Zelda game, and usually 2 are released per console. So, the GameCube already had its own original Zelda game. So, the fact that Twilight Princess was now moving over to the Wii as well wasn't all that bad, because technically GameCube players already had their Zelda game. So, now that this was going to be a dual release, first time it's ever happened, it really wasn't that big of a deal because, like I said, Wind Waker was already there. What does the Wii U have? It doesn't have anything. Exactly. The Wii U has a remake of Wind Waker, HD remake, and it has a spin-off title, Hyrule Warriors. So, Wii U does not have its own original Zelda game. No Nintendo console, well, not kind of Virtual Boy, but no real Nintendo console in history has gone without having its own original Zelda game. So why would Nintendo suddenly decide to push this, what is supposed to be their biggest Zelda game yet, over to a brand new system if their current system has yet to have its own original Zelda game? Well, where's the sense in that? It's never happened before. It's completely unprecedented. So even if it is a dual release, I have to have some incentive to bring that over to NX. And another thing about that, the Wii and the GameCube were very, very, very similar systems. Keep that in mind. The Wii was only a slightly more powerful GameCube. So them coding, oh yes, they had to change the controls and everything, but for the most part, the game was very easy to port over to the Wii. If the NX is what all these rumors are saying that it is, that's going to be as powerful as the PS4 and Xbox One, chances are it's in that same architecture, which is of course x86. Wii U is still using PowerPC. So that means if Zelda Wii U was even going to be ported to the NX, let's just imagine that's actually the case, they would have to literally recode everything. Not just even the control interface. I mean, plus that too, because of course Zelda Wii U is supposed to use the Wii U gamepad. So even if they were to move it to the NX, they would have to basically recreate the entire game. Like coding, control interface, everything. Everything would have to be remade. Unless the NX is basically just like how the Wii was to the GameCube, the NX is to the Wii U. It's just an upgraded version. And it's probably not going to be that if these rumors are to be taken as truth. But like I said, it's just a theory. Game theory. But now going to the next theory, the bigger theory, that it's just moving to the NX entirely, keeping that thought in mind that it's going to have to be recoded completely. Does it really make sense for Nintendo to have to go through all that trouble just to bring the game to the new system? I mean, really, that's a lot of work. And they've been working on this more than likely just a little while after they finished Skyward Sword. And that brings me to my next point. Remember Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword was developed throughout the entirety of the Wii's lifespan, basically 5 years. Okay? That game was built around the Wii. Like, Twilight Princess could have been moved over to the Wii easily, but it couldn't been the same thing. Like, if it was the flip side, where Skyward Sword couldn't never be moved to GameCube without it being a completely different game, because Skyward Sword was built for the Wii. It was built for the Wii Motion Plus. It was built to take advantage of the console's hardware. That was a Wii game through and through. So then, Skyward Sword was released 1 year before the Wii U. Just 1 year. It was released in November of 2011. Wii U came out in November of 2012. The Wii U was very, very close to the Wii. It's running the exact same architecture. its cores are basically the same. So the hardware is just an upgraded, drastically upgraded version. And not to mention the fact that it completely makes use of the Wii Remote, Wii Motion Plus, Nunchuck, everything. So the Wii U is a very, 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 very souped up Wii. So why couldn't Skyward Sword have also been dual released on the Wii U? I mean, Nintendo obviously had a short of a launch title, so wouldn't that have been great to have Skyward Sword HD? Even though it was a year later, but I mean, Rockstar got away with it, didn't they? Even though that came later, but still. My point is, that would have probably been pretty cool to have seen Skyward Sword as a launch title for Wii U, whether it been dual release or whether it been moved to the system entirely. Because, hey, we got Twilight Princess already, so having a dual release wouldn't have been a problem, just like how GameCube had Wind Waker. So that's what I'm talking about. The factors don't line up. People are thinking, oh, okay, NX is coming out next year, even though that's not confirmed at all. The people have in their minds that the NX is coming out next year, and even more so they have in their minds that one of its launch titles is going to be the new Zelda game. It really isn't. Nintendo has said absolutely nothing about that even points to the fact that this game could be coming to the NX. They've said nothing, tangible. They've been very vague about the game, yes, but they've constantly said, we're building this around Wii U, we're building it to take advantage of the console, of the gamepad. All of the details that they've released, they've basically said it again and again and again. And Miyamoto even confirmed this at E3 with IGN. It's coming to Wii U. So I could be wrong about the dual release thing. Maybe it could come as a dual release, but either way, I highly doubt that this game is going to skip the Wii U. I highly doubt it. Even if it ends up as a dual release title like Twilight Princess, even though that's still pretty far out theory, seriously, it's coming to Wii U. The factors just line up. There's nothing that insinuates that it would be any different. Okay? So yeah, I'm not saying that anyone's opinion is wrong, because like I said, it is an opinion, but I'm just saying that these theories are really, really out there. And the biggest thing. What Zelda game in history has not been delayed? I mean, I'm saying in history kind of stretches it a little bit, but the majority, especially the 3D Zelda games, have almost always been delayed. Skyward Sword technically had a delay. Twilight Princess was definitely delayed. We all remember that. So, my point is, Nintendo themselves aren't any strangers to delaying games at all. Not even just Zelda. They delay games on a regular. So, them delaying a game is nothing new, especially with their Zelda franchise. It's commonplace. So, for a game to be delayed, why does it suddenly mean it's coming to the next system? Had Nintendo not said anything about the NX this year, would you still think that Zelda U was being shifted to that system? You wouldn't know about it. So would it make sense? Think. Alright guys, thanks for watching. As always, have a great one, and I'll see you again later.